Welcome to today's explainer. Go ahead and grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, because today we're sitting down for a very real, very grounded conversation. If you've been feeling like life is just this constant uphill battle lately, trust me, I see you. Today we're going to decode the hidden rules of success, pulling directly from Scott Galloway's brilliant concepts in his work, The Algebra of Wealth. So let's just dive right into this. Let me ask you something. Does this hit a little too close to home? I know that sometimes life can be genuinely exhausting. You know, that creeping financial anxiety, constantly worrying about the future, the endless struggle to just make it to the end of the month. These are very real, very heavy burdens resting on so many of our shoulders. But you need to know you are absolutely not alone in feeling this way. And more importantly, there is a structured, logical way out. I'm going to guide you through this without any judgment, and we'll look at exactly how to reverse this dynamic. So, the algebra of wealth basically reduces wealth generation to this sweet, simple formula. Focus plus patience multiplied by diversification multiplied by time. Now, notice those multiplication signs. That right there is the secret engine. Think back to basic math. If you remove even one of these elements from your life, if any single one of those becomes a zero, the entire result becomes zero. It doesn't even matter how hard you sweat or how big your salary is. Honestly, a lot of us are walking around carrying a giant zero without even realizing it. To fix that math, we're going to break down the hidden constitution of successful people into 5 clear pillars today. The formula for wealth, the new rules of money, career and strategy, the psychology of investing, and finally, the ultimate currency, which is time. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the formula for wealth. The absolute most crucial element in that equation we just looked at is time. Now you might be thinking, but I don't have a lot of money in my pocket right now. Well, I want you to completely let go of that worry. If you're starting early in life, you already possess the world's most valuable currency. Someone who starts making tiny investments early on will almost always crush someone who invests massive amounts of money much later in life. Why? Because knowledge, experience, and money compound over time. The only action in life that yields absolutely zero return is constant delay. Moving right along to Section 2, the new rules of money.
Okay, this is a real game changer because it busts the biggest myth out there about getting rich. Did you know the wealthy don't actually get rich by spending cash? They use the art of borrowing. Behind the scenes, the system actually works like this. If you have a highly valuable asset, like stocks or a business, you don't sell it and pay taxes on it, no way. You use that asset as collateral at the bank, and you take out a cash loan against it. And since a loan isn't considered income, it's literally tax-free. Your assets just keep growing in value, and you still get the cash you need. Meanwhile, us wage earners, we pay taxes before the money even hits our bank accounts. Your ultimate goal shouldn't just be to get a bigger salary, it should be building assets you can borrow against later.
So how do we actually start building those assets? Well, you do it by dividing your income before you spend a single dime of it. Look, if you try to save whatever is magically left over at the end of the month, there's never going to be anything left. Instead, the strategy here is to set up 3 piggy banks. Slice 1 is your daily needs. Slice 2 is for midterm goals, like maybe a house down payment or emergencies. And slice 3 is strictly for long-term freedom and investing. You have to carve out that investment slice first and then force yourself to live on the rest. It completely changes the whole dynamic. Which brings us to Section 3, career and strategy. Be brutally honest with yourself for a second here. Are you the hardest worker on a sinking ship? Because, listen, hard work is valuable, but being the hardest worker on a sinking ship does you absolutely no good. Having just average performance in a growing, future-focused sector is going to pay out far more than being a literal genius in an industry that's collapsing. Think about it like surfing. A great surfer still needs a good wave. If you're out there paddling on the wrong wave, the quality of your surfboard means absolutely nothing. Okay, we need to completely destroy one of the most common pieces of advice out there: follow your passion. According to Galloway, this is incredibly dangerous advice, especially for young people. The reality is, most people make their fortunes in totally unglamorous fields. Think logistics, accounting, enterprise software, and then they romanticize it after they're already rich. So, instead of endlessly searching for passion, find a skill that comes pretty easily to you but is difficult for everyone else. Master it. Make your money right there. And save your passions for your comfortable, stress-free weekends. True mastery and success will eventually generate its own passion anyway. Now, if you are in your 20s right now and you're low-key panicking because you don't have your entire life figured out, take a deep breath. Your 20s are a laboratory. They're literally designed for trial and error. Try different jobs, make mistakes, figure out what you absolutely hate doing. Then your 30s are for mastery, where where you finally focus your energy on a specific path. And your 40s? Well, that's the harvest. That's where you get to actually reap the rewards of all those seeds you planted. So please stop comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20.
Let's lock in 3 rapid-fire tactics for your career. First up, return to the office. I know, working from a beach sounds amazing. But early in your career, visibility is literally everything. If you're just a name on a Slack channel, the promotions are going to go to the person drinking coffee with the boss. Second, delegate. If your hourly earning potential is high, do not waste your time on cheap, routine tasks. Buy your time back. And third, know when to quit. Quitting isn't always a defeat. Actually, sometimes it's the ultimate wisdom. Highly successful people aren't the ones who just blindly never give up. They're the ones who realize when they're on a dead-end street and turn around.
All right, let's shift gears a bit for Section 4, the psychology of investing. There is a really stark contrast between how you should treat your time versus how you treat your money. With your energy, you absolutely must focus. Please don't try to juggle a full-time office job, a YouTube channel, day trading crypto, and an e-commerce store all at once. You're just going to be terrible at all of them. Dedicate your energy to mastering one specific thing. But with your money, do the exact opposite. Never tie all your savings up in one place. Diversify broadly across things like index funds so that if a single crisis hits, it doesn't completely wipe you out. And this brings us to a truth that, well, it isn't very romantic, but it is incredibly practical. The single biggest financial move you will ever make in your life is choosing the right spouse. Seriously, a partner who runs toward the exact same goals and protects you from reckless spending is the ultimate teammate. If you two don't share financial values, the constant money fights will erode everything you build. Don't be afraid to put it all on the table. Talk about money, expectations, and debts super openly in your relationship. To truly protect your peace of mind and your wealth, you've got to follow these rules. Number 1, stop day trading on your phone. Staring at stock charts all day is literally just gambling against supercomputers and math geniuses. You will lose. Stick to boring, simple, long-term index funds. Number 2, when the economy inevitably crashes, do not panic. Crises are massive wealth transfer events. Basically, everything goes on sale. And lastly, remember why we even do this in the first place. Financial stability is physical health. The stress of unpaid bills sits like a physical stone on your chest. Organizing your money isn't about looking cool or buying flashy things. It's about sleeping peacefully at night and keeping your body healthy. And that brings us to our 5th and final section, the ultimate currency, which is time. We all do this, right? We all have this magic number floating around in our heads, thinking, if I just hit this much money, everything will be fine. But the crazy thing is, when you actually hit that number, your problems don't just magically vanish. Money fixes material lacks, for sure, but it absolutely doesn't fill the void in your soul. We don't build wealth to show off to our neighbors. We build it to provide a safe space for our loved ones and to buy the ultimate freedom, the freedom to be where we want, exactly when we want. Money is really just the ink in the pen that writes your life story. True wealth, that's the unhurried time you get to spend with the people you genuinely love. So I want to leave you with this final thought experiment today, a sort of modern memento mori. When the pressure gets really heavy and your decisions feel impossible, imagine yourself at 80 years old. You're sitting in a comfortable chair, just looking back at today. How completely meaningless will your current fears and hesitations seem from that vantage point? The reality of our finite time shows us what actually matters. So whenever you're afraid to take a big step, just ask yourself, if I don't do this, will my 80-year-old self regret it? Let that answer be your guide. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer today. I'll catch you next time.